Welcome, everyone, to the second episode of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Book Club. Yay!
Ooh.
Yay
Yay!
us! Joined once again by Kira, Angel,
Hi.
Azara, and
Hi.
Mia.
Hi.
And we're back with Chapter 2 of Jorge Joestar. Initial reactions, guys.
It was kind of boring. I mean, like, I liked it in the sense that it was interesting. Okay, it feels weird to say that it was interesting directly after saying it was boring. Definitely a lot more underwhelming compared to the last chapter.
Yeah.
Well, it was still kind of an interesting read, and I'm okay. So I thought that like the last chapter was pretty bad, but this one, like, I didn't hate. Like, it wasn't.
It
wasn't.
got better towards the end.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, it was like a very slow
It
start.
started off pretty slow, and I was like confused at first. I'm like, well, this is like a totally different Jorge Joestar. Like, what the heck? But towards the end, when we kind of started figuring things out and putting things together, it got a lot more interesting. I was like, wow.
The first half of this chapter was literally just ripped from like an Encyclopedia Brown book.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of skimmed over that part. Not like skim, like I read it, just I paid a little less than I did like in the middle, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like explaining all of these in great detail, well, it will come in handy when he's explaining like the Tsukumajuku thing where he comes back and is like, murder 15 puzzle domino.
Yeah, like the little grid
the
thingy.
15 puzzle grid.
Basically, I didn't retain any of the specific knowledge about the
Yeah.
I remember the dream clown, and then
Yes.
in this universe, it's Yoshi.
I remember the farm burning down too.
What?
I think.
Yeah, the house
Was it like a
burned
farm?
down.
Yeah, I thought it was. I know something burned down.
And there was like water inside the
Yes.
house.
Yeah, he emerged. Yeah, there was seawater.
So
and
should
then
I get into the summary then, so we can go through this?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right.
It is introductions.
The story begins again. We are introduced to Jorge Joestar, a British-Japanese boy detective. He kicks this chapter off to a roaring start by doing puzzles for 11 pages straight. But hey, at least he doesn't have shit up his nose. George goes on patrol to where his puzzle told him to go and immediately sees a burning house. We then find out this house is also flooding, with a guy drowning inside. So I do have to clarify that straight up. I'll take out the book, but there's straight up like a puzzle to like solve alongside the story in the beginning half of this chapter. Just in case the audience doesn't believe. Yeah, let me. Hopefully you can. Yeah, there's a grid-based locked room murder puzzle.
Turn down the
sequence.
brightness.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Come on, you're embarrassing me, Kindle. Oh, not that low.
Puzzle. Nothing made sense for like a hot minute.
Yeah, so there's this puzzle, and then the next page has the solution to it on it. So if you didn't want to bother solving the puzzle, there it was. So yeah, there was just straight up just a puzzle halfway through this chapter that you could solve if you wanted to. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't either, because I'm not smart enough for that.
I just saw numbers and got mad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, literally I was like, this is too many numbers for my brain.
Yeah, like I just finished calculus homework and was like, no, get it out.
It's kind of funny though that like what if in the middle of like a Game of Thrones book there was like all of a sudden to complete the Sudoku puzzle to get to the next chapter. It's like weird. Like why did he feel like I had to include the puzzle in there?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, that's not the last time there's a diagram and graph of a puzzle in this book.
Oh my gosh.
I really like that.
So George smashes some windows and he discovers the drowning man is Tsukumojuku himself. George explains that their world only has one continent and that he's from the year 2012, causing Tsukumojuku to theorize he traveled to this world through the Bermuda Triangle. Which, very intuitive of him. That's not what I would have put together.
Yeah.
Suku then explains through several pages that his 15 locked room murders were committed by a dream entering mastermind named Javier Cortez. When George calls his connections to see who the mastermind was in his world, he is told it's Yoshikage Kira, who left the threat, "If George Joestar ever comes to Morio, I'll kill him." And then 2 pages later, Suku is dead again, this time in Morio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't catch a break.
Literally.
He is, he's 2 chapters in, he's died 2
I like
times.
at the end, George was just like, there was no point of you doing that, dude.
Yeah, I was
God was gonna come anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, bro.
He's
Okay.
like, "Kira, my guy."
Like, bro.
State that for the I like this George way more than I like the George.
Yeah, he wasn't a
Yeah.
bitch.
He ain't a little bitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Old George would be like, oh, Nor. You know, this one's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
George,
Oh, Nor.
George wouldn't even been able to do the goddamn puzzle at the beginning half of the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
First, George Joestar's like stupid and a pussy. He doesn't even get like anything.
To be honest, though, I feel like the first George Joestar sounds more like canon. It sounds like a more canonical George, in my opinion.
I feel like if you mix these two, you'd get like the canon George, like how kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. Because this George is like very smart.
Like a part 8 type B. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this George is...
Yeah.
Well, he's basically just this universe's Tsukumojuku, to be honest. He does the exact same shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But why is the alternate reality George Joestar the Tsukumojuku? And why is the original reality George Joestar different? Is there a reason behind this? Is this answered?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
that's for you guys to theorize. I've already read this book.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, paying attention to that as I
So she's
don't know.
wondering why there's another George Joestar in a different universe.
I assume that it's like 7 part 8 rules. Although
Yeah.
that wouldn't really make sense because technically parts 7 and 8 are a different, just like a completely separate thing from parts 1 through 6. So then having them coexist together within the same book, which is to say same part, I think that there's definitely meaning behind that.
Well, we know that apparently you can just travel through the Bermuda Triangle from one world to another.
I would like
apparently.
Manhattan Island or something like that.
Stand ability adjacent. I know that there are stands in this world because of Sean and his video.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that there's probably some kind of stand ability that's doing this, it's like an amalgamation of them or whatever. I don't know. Just it smells standy.
Are there stands in this?
Spoiler alert, there are stands in this.
Okay.
I was just like taken aback when they started talking about like, oh, have y'all seen like my Tonio's like, they started talking about like, oh, maybe he just developed this ability to like dream hop, kind of like how Tonio just like developed the ability to shed his skin. Like that whole thing, I was like, what the hell?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
Sounds like stand ability is developing.
yeah, it sounds like shedding your skin is one thing, but like dream hopping, that sounds like a stand ability.
One thing that I kind of appreciate though is that I didn't consider Antonio's ability to like be stand based until now.
Yeah.
Like I was just kind of content with it being like weird JoJo shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
We're like, that's bizarre.
So, I mean, like Mitsuba JoJo really doesn't have. So like, anything is possible in
stands,
JoJo.
you can do anything.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Real life don't have noses sometimes. I need to stop.
All right, so now that we have the introduction of Yoshikage Kira in this story and the fact that he killed Tsukumojuku, are you guys thinking he's the villain of this story?
Well-
I feel like it's gonna go beyond that. I feel like it's gonna start.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, oh, it's Yoshikage Kira. But I feel like as we progress, there's gonna be
Yeah, like it'll be like levels.
I know we get like some cars, plural. So
We get the
Yeah,
funniest
cars.
Valentine.
kind of excited for that.
a funnier Valentine's.
Yeah.
Funnier Valentine.
Funniest, funnier.
The
Yeah,
hysterical
I'm ready
Valentine.
for all of it. Does Yoshikage Kira have a stand?
That is, we'll find out.
Spoiler.
Okay,
You
I
can't
will
spoil
pass
too
Killer
much.
Queen. I love Killer Queen.
Killer Queen is so
Deadly
cute.
Queen.
Also, we
Ooh,
should
Homicidal king.
Speaking of going beyond, Beyond was brought up again in this chapter.
Yeah.
And Suku's like, yeah, you've got Beyond. And then George is like, nah. And he's like, nah, you do, though. So Suku's like, this guy also has Beyond. He's just going around handing out Beyonds to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tsukumojuku is the Zeppeli of George Joestar. So
Why, 'cause
Yeah.
you can't stop
He's the
getting
Joe
murked.
bro.
Yeah.
He's the Joe bro.
He's the Joe bro that
So
keeps
far.
fucking dying.
certified Joe bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly though, I didn't have much of an opinion on this chapter other than I thought that it was interesting. It was interesting in a different way from the first chapter. I don't think it was as poorly written in my opinion. And I'm now more interested to see where this goes than I was before. If you
Mhm.
can believe.
Yeah, I mean, now we got Kira thrown into the mix. We got two different realities. We have Beyond existing across these realities. Maybe we got Suku freaking dying again.
Yeah.
And
He said he's dead this time in Morio.
I will tell you this for free. There are some returning characters in Morio that we know from the series.
Josuke, do we get Josuke?
Yeah.
I want to see Josuke
tell you.
Okuyasu.
I'm not gonna say, but we do get some. We do. Get
I'm gonna
some
come
part
back
4 people.
mad as hell if I don't see Josuke
Part-
Okuyasu. Like,
Part 4, Part 8 Mario.
I want to.
I can't disclose that, but this is written before
Ooh.
Part 8
Part
was
8, yeah.
finished.
Well, it does take place in 2012, besties, and that's like pretty close to when.
bestie, you never know.
I mean,
That's
I never
true.
true.
I really like this chapter because George Joestar wasn't really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like, he wasn't annoying, but I like annoying characters because it just makes me remember all the dumb shit that they did. You know, in like a sense of like, like chapter 1, he was so annoying. He let Lisa fight all his battles, and then he just somehow decided to jump in and, you know, X, Y, and Z. He got shit put up his nose. This new George, like, he's cool, but it's like, he solved the puzzle.
Yeah, I
Remember
think
anything else?
compared to like if we're comparing both chapters, I feel like in terms of like being interesting, the first one was like more consistently interesting.
Yeah, because
And
it
then the
just
second
got
one was, like,
wilder and wilder.
Yeah, exactly. And like the second chapter was more like kind of boring, like slow at the beginning, but then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it just like peaked and got like, whoa, what the heck is happening here?
Yeah, like between, like, oh, someone killed Tonio. No, he's not dead. He's at the door. No, that's just Lisa and his corpse.
Yeah.
Tonio's rolled up in a little paper scroll somewhere. Oh, but there's vampires now. It's like, and then this one, it's like, so someone's been killing people.
Solving a puzzle, like
Yeah, gotta move the pieces around.
Yeah, no joke. I did count 11 pages of him just solving that puzzle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the diagrams and everything.
Yeah.
the diagrams would just be a whole page sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why is there so many pages in this chapter? And then, ugh.
That's 1/3 of the chapter too, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The puzzle scene didn't have to be that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that
Mhm.
necessary.
Kind of funny though. Then now we have stuff to talk about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're not comparing.
So I guess we should talk about there. I guess there's kind of a gray cloud hanging over this chapter, where it turns out again that the quote unquote stand user, or whatever we want to call him, Javier Cortez from this chapter. So he has the ability to go into people's minds, in like dreams and stuff, and influence them, and he convinces 15 people to commit locked murder room murders. And he developed that power because of sexual assault.
Yeah, with his mom. I was reading that. That's what kind of, I hate to say, that's kind of what like caught my eye. I was like, what?
That's
And it was like, yeah, because dream to get away, and it was just. Then it was like, oh, his dad was never around. His mom started taking like, being fond towards her son. I was like, ooh, uh-oh.
So that's what kind of like triggered his stand, I guess.
Yeah.
Out like stand users, you know what I mean? Like this could be like a because I feel like in the main universe, like how you got a stand was kind of like you just had to be stabbed with the arrow or like cursed by Dio or something like that. I don't really know what the criteria is really, or if there's any set criteria, but it's kind of interesting now that the only rule that we've seen so far is that it was
It's
called
like through moms. That's what I'm noticing.
mom.
Yeah.
I was gonna say trauma.
But
Did this
Oh,
author have mommy
well-
issues?
I mean,
Yeah.
two standards that we've seen so far.
Does any more mom trauma come up?
More trauma comes up. No, I don't remember it being exactly mom related.
Mama
'Cause
trauma.
Mom trauma's gonna trigger my mom trauma.
Mom trauma.
do we got like some Freud going on here or something?
Oh, no. Neon Genesis.
Oh god.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
god.
Getting the Ava, George.
Getting Ava Shinji.
Getting the fucking Ava Shinji.
The rules for the stands in this universe like aren't really set, so I'm wondering if they're gonna be the same as like the canonical JoJo universe, or like I'm wondering how they're gonna be set, because it's obviously not following like what would happen in the actual JoJo universe so far, anyways. Yet, I mean, unless there's something that we don't know.
I will say next
What?
chapter, if I recall correctly, will clear up some of these questions.
Okay.
I was reading it because he was like, all these murders are taking place like a ways away from each other. And I was like, okay, I know that there's stands in the story, and it kind of like I was getting what's that one stand from Popo stand? You know how it was like rangeless? It was just like that's what I thought something was like that was going on, but
so true,
proven
Beth.
wrong.
Like a remote control stand that would just like
Yeah,
stab people with the
just
arrow.
follows you.
Yeah.
And so apparently,
That was the vibes I was getting.
So apparently, Kira in this world can communicate through dreams with people. So like, how's he doing that?
He could also be using someone else's stand and just manipulate.
Yeah, shared stands.
Mhm.
Part 6.
Mm-hmm.
Got himself a little disc.
Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Never
talking
know.
like Tomb of the Boom style, like how they all shared the freaking
Oh,
Tomb of the Boom.
That or a disc.
I was like, damn, you're really bringing up the worst stand.
That stand fight was very interesting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So does anybody
Had me
have
nervous
any,
for a second.
Yeah. Does anybody have any last thoughts on the chapter before we close it out?
Mm.
It was weird, but not as batshit weird.
Yeah.
Like the
Interesting.
imagery.
It
It was
fun.
not as.
Like the.
I guess it
imagery
was
of-
just not as. Ooh, sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. The imagery of like the house like on fire, and then there being like salt water with like rushing through it, and like seeing like a guy
Yeah.
fly past the windows. I gotta say, I was like, damn, that is good imagery. I'll give the author that.
If I
Mhm.
saw it in real life, I would have been like, what?
I've been like,
Yeah. If I saw a brick house with like
water in it.
if I saw a house with like water inside of it, I'd be like, what? Too.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it goes beyond just a what?
I think the water must
I
be
just
hot
wanna
because the
stroke
house is
my
on fire.
chin. Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Yeah. But I feel like this chapter was like not boring, but just more tame compared to like first
Yeah.
chapter, that one. So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it was interesting, but because not just a bunch of batshit crazy things happen all at once, like back to back every other page.
Yeah.
It was just like a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So high hopes for chapter 3.
Yep. Speaking of chapter 3, I'll tell you guys this. We do go back to the other George Joestar for the next chapter. So what do you guys
Yeah.
think we're going to deal with there?
Okay. I feel like if we're going back to the other George Joestar, I feel like this is gonna be we're gonna be following both George Joestars.
Yeah.
It was like confusing switching.
Has anyone noticed this is how you're able to tell? I mean, at least so far, George Joestar with Lisa and Antonio, his font, like the font in his chapter is different. And I noticed that for chapter 3 too, because I just like took a peek at the first.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I did look at that. I was like,
interesting.
2012 George Joestar has a like rounder, like I don't want to say comic
Yeah.
feel, but it's a little like that. And then the 190, I think it's just 1900 or 1904 or something.
Mhm.
George, his is like Times New Roman or something like that, like something a little bit more sophisticated.
Yeah, but I feel like we're gonna be following both of them, like, and
simultaneously.
maybe like a little prediction. I feel like eventually we'll have them meet or collide somehow,
That'd be cool.
and it'd be cool to have the both George Joestars meet because like they're two very different people.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. Well,
Yeah,
that's the extent.
Yeah, I think that's the end of
That's it.
episode 2. All right.
That's
Thank-
amazing.
Sounds good.
Good job, everyone. We did it.